I'm Sarah, and joining me today is Tony Matulonis. It is May 12, 2009. Thank you, Tony, for being with us today and sharing your memories. So, tell us a little bit about the house and the neighborhood that you grew up in.
You mean in an inner city or Carroll County?
In Carroll County.
All right. I bought this house in the 70s, and I lived in it for 35 years. I raised 3 children. It was a log farmhouse, which dated back to 1860. It was made of chestnut logs, and I bought it was the original farmhouse, and it had 3 outbuildings. It had a chicken house, it had a tool shed, and it had a well house.
And did you raise chickens?
Yeah, I raised chickens as part of the romantic idea that I'm living in the country now, and now I'm going to raise chickens. But then someone said, if you want a chicken to lay eggs, you got to get a rooster. So I got a rooster, and I thought that would be romantic. You know, wake up, I'll be in the morning, and the rooster will wake me up. But after a while, you know, the neighbors started moving in and it caused problems.
Oh, yeah. So how much land did you have on your property?
I had 3 acres.
3 acres?
3 acres of land.
Did you do a lot of farming on your property?
Well, I had a very large garden, and then that was another romantic idea, because I was raised in the inner city, and you couldn't grow nothing but, you know. So when I came out here, I said, man, this is nice. I'm in the open air. I can raise a garden. So I had a garden by the road, and I grew sunflowers, and they grew up real big. And then I went out one morning, and they were gone.
What happened to them?
We think that somebody stole them because the heads were real big.
And so how far away were your neighbors in the area that you lived on?
Well, I had neighbors. I had 2 neighbors on the right. I had a neighbor across the road, and the neighbor, you know, further down. But it was in the inner city. I had neighbors right next door. Over here, I had space.
Space. And where did you say your farmhouse cabin was?
It was on Pine Knob Road.
Oh wow! And is it still there today?
Yeah, Pine Knob Road is still there today. As a matter of fact, it intersects Route 26. And then if you follow it all to the extreme end, it comes out it intersects Route 32, and then if you go all the way down, it intersects Route 26.
And your farmhouse, is it still there?
No, the farmhouse is no longer there because I had to have it demolished because I could not keep it there. You can't have, in Carroll County, you can't have 2 houses on one property.
Oh, okay. So you still own the property, still in your family?
Yeah, the property is still in the family. My daughter and son-in-law own it now, and they built the house on it. And then we live on the wing of the house because living in a farmhouse, I couldn't climb them steps. You know, when you get old, you creak.
Yeah.
Among other problems, and then you can't see. And then you have trouble remembering. Now, all of you from T. Rowe Price are young, but one day you're going to be old, if you live.
And so in the 35 years that you lived on Pine Knob Road, I'm sure the road has changed a lot, huh?
Yes, it has. Initially, when I moved out there, my wife, the road didn't go all the way through. It was blocked off at the bottom. And then when we would hear our car, we would rush to the window and we'd say, we wonder who that is. Are they coming to see us? But now it's constant flow of cars. We don't even bother to do that no more.
And so were there like cars and horses that used to go along that road back then?
They used to have horses, and some of the people riding on horses were smoking wacky weed.
Do you have any special memories you want to tell us about?
Oh yeah, good question about special memories. When I first bought the house, the owner wanted to have people living in it because he was afraid of vandals. And the people that lived in there, I wouldn't say their age, but they were like hippies. So when people would come down the road, the hippies would come out and moon them. And when I say I live in the old farmhouse, people will say, "Oh well, we know where that is because we were moved."
And are there any special shops in Carroll County that you really like?
Well, I like antique shops, so my wife goes down there. But my wife said, "I love antiques, but I'll never be one."
And have you ever gotten her any special antiques you found in the neighborhood?
Oh yeah, I bought some antique. I bought some King's Crown glassware for my wife, and then I bought an antique shiver robe, and then we bought a old time treadle sewing machine, and I took and had the sewing head made into a lamp for my wife for Mother's Day.
That's very nice. Are those antique stores still there? Do you remember the name of it?
Well, one antique store that I went to a lot was Alexander's Attic in Sykesville.
Oh, okay.
And she's still there.
Oh, that's nice.
Her name is Charlie Taylor. She knows me, Charlie Taylor.
Do you have any historical events that have affected your family and the community, like experiences from the war?
Oh, yeah. That's a good question. Well, 9/11, I was sitting at the doctor's office, and these people were running in and out. And I said, "What's going on?" And then that was when 9/11 began, because the airplanes crashed into the building. Well, I didn't know it, but a lady at the end of the road had a daughter that worked for one of the companies, and the daughter was killed. They never recovered the body. They thought it might be incinerated. So right away I said, "This is an act of war." So I wrote something up titled America. I sent it to the president at that time, which was George Bush. And about 6 months later, I got a reply from the White House saying they're sorry it took so long to reply because they had to institute new mail security measures at the White House. So what I'm saying is that I wrote on America, there's a 90% chance that that will be in his presidential library.
Very interesting. And what about you and your family? How are holidays traditionally celebrated with you guys?
Well, we celebrate holidays, but you know, the problem is that when you have a family, you have children, they want to be with their own family. So it's getting more and more difficult to get together for family gathering. Now, it's very easy to have a family gathering with my daughter and the grandkids because they're right next door. All I got to do is go through our door to see them.
What stories have come down to you about your parents and grandparents or more distant ancestors?
Well, the stories that have come down is that various things have happened, but I really not at liberty to say because I really don't know, and I don't want to give them. All I can say is that my father is gone, my mother is gone. My mother was an orphan, and my father had some problems in his family. So I can't tell you about them.
Were they from this area?
Well, my mother was an orphan. She was in Louisiana, and my father was raised on a farm.
Oh. Thanks again, Tony, for sharing your memories with us today. Is there anything else you'd like to say before we finish up?
I just think that this oral history is a good idea.
Me too.
And I try to inject a little humor into it, so the audience wouldn't fall asleep.